Blockers is a rated-R teen sex comedy being distinguished because it sincerely focuses on the teenage girl perspective. I can appreciate that. But unlike other male-oriented virginity-losing movies, Blockers devotes the majority of its runtime to the teen's parents, who are attempting to thwart their kids' sexual efforts. The movie tries to have it both ways. Make a hyperbolic, fun adventure out of the parents' concerns, but also take the time to meta-lecture the viewing audience about how sexist its own premise is. You know, the audience who paid to see the movie because of its premise. You insult me, movie! Additionally, the film poorly balances gross-out humor with a tired slog of never-ending forced drama. The editing and structure is just so flat and unengaging. Where's the snappy wit, energy, and charm? Besides a handful of jokes and improvisations, I was really bored the whole way through. The movie's only 102 minutes, but it dragged. While the three parents and the three daughters have decent trio chemistry, they are ultimately let down by a conflicted execution. Is it the female American Pie or an original parent romp? I'd have preferred if the movie chose one or the other. This review will contain spoilers for Acts 1 and 2. A timestamp for my star rating and pros cons chart is in the video description. Blockers follows three teenage girls, Julie, Kayla, and Sam, and their concerned parents, Lisa, Mitchell, and Hunter. Julie feels that the time has finally come to have sex with her boyfriend, committing to losing her virginity on prom night. Kayla and Sam, Julie's best friends since kindergarten, don't want to feel left out and decide to sleep with two random classmates as well. One is the high school drug connoisseur, and the other a chubby geek. Meanwhile, Julie's single mother Lisa is struggling with the idea of Julie moving off to college and leaving her alone. Kayla's dad, Mitchell, is overprotective, uptight, and feels left out of neighborhood gatherings. And Sam's dad is a deadbeat who left Sam and her mother when Sam was little and has returned to ensure that she has the best prom night ever. Shortly after their girls depart for the dance, the parents amusingly uncover their daughter's planned sex pact, vowing to stop these deflowerings by any means necessary, thus kicking off a prom night crusade. Will the three young ladies have the perfect night that they desire, or will the parents intervene just in time? Blockers begins with Lisa, Mitchell, and Hunter dropping off their daughters on their first day of kindergarten. Julie, Kayla, and Sam abruptly become friends, and the parents get emotional in a half-knowingly exaggerated, half-sweet way. I chuckled. The focus is clearly placed on the parents dealing with a milestone in their children's lives. Then, a home movies montage shows the girls growing up, while the parents amusingly mingle. I hope this sequence isn't meant to be a placeholder for bonding scenes with the teenage actresses. It was. There is only one school lunch scene to establish Julie, Kayla, and Sam's friendship dynamics. Look, I don't know these young ladies. Just because I saw a montage of them happy as kids, that doesn't fill me in. The three of them are much older now. Those home video clips were presented in a nostalgic fashion, which reinforced, for me, that the movie was supposed to be from the parents' perspective. Only Blockers wants to have a shared perspective between the kids and the parents. In that case, I'd like a scene or two more getting acquainted with the three daughters' teenage personalities. As is, I like Kayla's attitude, energy, and confidence the best. Julie, while having the most screen time, was a bit of a stiff good girl, who I kinda sweetened up to as the movie went on. And Sam looked like a genetic splice of Alicia Vikander and Marla Sokoloff. Weird. She is meek, puritanically dressed, and hiding lesbian feelings for the Rite Aid girl from Santa Clarita Diet. And one of the best laughs of our night, I whispered to my friend, "That's why they just called it Blockers." The three young ladies have good chemistry, and this cafeteria introduction was one of the better scenes in the film, which is why I wanted more setup and development between the three of them. Also, maybe a scene in the science lab introducing the two boys that Kayla and Sam take to the prom. That way, when Kayla and Sam announce that those two are the ones that they plan to sleep with, I can know who they are talking about and laugh along with them. Currently, I just get a mild chuckle based on their outward appearance. Anyway, no time for the girls. Back to the parents that the marketing and the opening scene told me the movie was about. First, Julie's mom, Lisa, played by Leslie Mann. The film shows her and Julie's morning jogging routine as an example of how close they are. Then, during an extended scene of breakfast, Julie hints that she might want to go to UCLA, across the country. Lisa laughs off the suggestion. Later, Julie attempts to broach the subject again in the kitchen. 2 whole scenes are dedicated to setting up this unoriginal, predictable college plotline. Meanwhile, nothing funny is happening besides a botched boob job and a prom cake. I get the impression that I was supposed to laugh at Lisa's insecurities and the way she was downplaying her loneliness. I'll be fine. My problem was that the editing lacked the brevity to make it funny, lingering a bit too long, which actually made it pretty sad in both cases. So these are redundant scenes establishing a plotline with a foregone conclusion and dragging down the comedy mood. I'd say pick one of them and consider slimming that one down. This time could have been spent on the young girl's friendship. On the other hand, Lisa's sort of the main character. Cutting one of these scenes might throw things off balance. Her character growth is learning to let go, and that she'll have other friends to support her. Another, actually fun moment involves Lisa describing in detail the vision she has of her depressing, lonely death, followed by Mitchell's shocked reaction. Speaking of whom, Kayla's dad, Mitchell, played by WWE wrestler John Cena, is a tough, disciplined, buzz-cut square. Except when he's not? Half of Mitchell's character arc seemed to revolve around needing to loosen up so that other adults would enjoy his company. But this uptight character trait is poorly established. Mitchell's first scene after the prologue has him putting a pink thong in his mouth, attempting to be playful with his strict wife. The joke is that it's his daughter's thong. But I'm more concerned that Mitchell already seems to be pretty easygoing. Yeah, he's a bit wife-whipped and tries too hard to be hip, but Mitchell seems reasonably down to earth out of the gate. I'm not sure why the neighborhood disowned him. The only times he seems overly tense is in front of his daughter and her date. I mean, how am I supposed to enjoy Leslie Mann sticking a beer hose up John Cena's ass and asking him to spread his cheeks to let the liquid in if I'm not fully invested in how uptight Mitchell is beforehand? This butt-chugging scene is meant to be the ultimate gross-out allegory for a strict parent loosening up. Yet Mitchell was such a sweet softie early on that it just wasn't humorous to me. Instead, I'm like, why are you making him do this? Now, on the other hand, Mitchell's overprotective nature is communicated clearly as he rummages through his daughter's drawer, then gives her a lesson in cutting a man's testes open with a pocket knife. Still, even this part of his character growth is botched at the end of the movie so that John Cena can show off his wrestling muscles. I laughed at it, but it undermined Mitchell's progression throughout the film. Finally, there's Sam's dad, Hunter. No, wait! First, a long, totally unnecessary scene introducing me to Sam's mom and her new stepfather, played by Hannibal Buress. I smiled when I saw him, but he has nothing to do except get cut off by Sam's mother while he's trying to give Sam advice. These two characters are pointless. Nothing funny happens, they have no impact on the plot, and do not show up again after the opening scenes. Not even at the end of the movie. Spending 5 minutes establishing Sam's relationship with these people is another huge waste of screen time, which could have been spent on the young girl's friendship and school life. Granted, the scene is addressing Sam's conflicted sexual feelings and her apprehension about telling her immediate family. But her closeted conflict was well communicated in the cafeteria scene. And the movie reveals that she hid her sexuality from her mom later in the film anyway. This scene was only kept because Julie and Kayla had scenes with their parents. However, Julie and Kayla's parents are relevant lead characters. Besides his amusingly enthusiastic greeting of Sam's deadbeat dad, Hunter, Hannibal Buress is totally wasted. Okay. Now enter Hunter, Sam's dad, played by Ike Barinholtz, Suicide Squad and Neighbors. Hunter is meant to be the hilarious, street-smart, loose foil to Lisa and Mitchell's straight-laced act. But Hunter's backstory as a deadbeat dad meant that I wasn't in the mood to laugh at his jokes. The actor is doing a decent job. I just didn't like the character's morals, which got in the way of me enjoying him initially. Over time, I was so disinterested in the movie that I decided to let our beef slide and acted like that backstory was irrelevant. Hunter shows up at Lisa's pre-prom party in a limo, hoping to re-ingratiate himself with Sam by giving her and her friends a sweet ride. Obviously, Hunter's character arc is about reconciliation. Though during Hunter's big confessional moment, a joke is made about how Lisa and Mitchell weren't really listening to him. Oh dear. When Lisa, Mitchell, and Hunter finally do discover their daughter's sex pact through Julie's laptop-linked instant messenger, there's a hint of potential. Lisa and Mitchell attempt to innocently dismiss their daughter's coded emoticon messages, while Hunter nonchalantly explains that they are secretly sexually explicit. Eggplant means penis. That one's cum. It's a fun bit, and the actors have good chemistry, and the energy and timing is clicking with me for the first time. Lisa exclaims, "Let's cockblock those mother effers. I'm all game." Let's do it. Then, the movie gets bogged down in drawn out, awkward, unfunny scenes again. I'm not gonna spoil the parents' adventure, but some jokes I did enjoy were the girl's limo driver acting quite gracious. Then, as he's rolling up the privacy window, realizes he missed a turn and begins yelling obscenities with the window cutting him off as it closes. A scene in which Mitchell makes inappropriate eye contact with another man. Kayla's drug-making date sophisticatedly describing the ingredients of his goods as if they were a fine vintage of wine. And another joke that I whispered to my friend, "Hey, imagine Hugo Weaving showing up as Elrond at the prom, saying, 'You should have stayed virgins,' then whooping some tail." Are you in need of assistance, my lady? There were other little things that made me snicker, such as Lisa sneaking around a room, but most of them I don't remember. The editing of the film almost had negative energy, as if it was draining and feeding off my essence to continue playing. Segments that are meant to be lighthearted are cut too long and serious, and things meant to be serious are cut even longer. But I wasn't having a good enough time with the characters to care. And then certain things happen randomly without setup. For example, during the prom, Hunter starts making his way across the room to confront Sam. The movie abruptly cuts to a close-up of some random teenage boy proclaiming, "This is my moment." The music swells, the kid starts breakdancing and kicks Hunter in the face before falling to the floor. First off, the timing is all wrong. Hunter would have already crossed the dance floor by the time that boy's extended close-up shot was over. Secondly, Hunter has way too much time to respond to the boy's dance moves during the shot in which he is kicked in the face, making it not funny, but poorly executed. And thirdly, who was that boy? And why was it his moment? Once again, more high school scenes with Julie, Kayla, and Sam interacting with their classmates would do wonders. Maybe this boy could have gloatingly tried to ask one of them out, been rejected, then declared, "Okay, but you ladies don't know what you're missing out on. I'm gonna tear up the dance floor tonight. This'll be my moment." Just give me a little context and reason to laugh when his big moment falls flat on his face. Also, a funny Fast and the Furious reference is edited less effectively than in the movie's previews. In the trailer, Lisa declares, "What would Vin Diesel do?" then steps on the gas. In the final film, there's all this dialogue back and forth before Lisa finally hits the accelerator. I found the preview funnier because the "what would Vin Diesel do" phrase got Lisa so hyped that she immediately floored it. That energy is now lost. If Blockers had tightened its editing rhythm, it could have brought a lot of these scenes to life. Then, Mitchell's wife, Marcy, halts the parents' quest to give them and the audience a big lecture. Oh, this is so sexist. If your kids were teenage boys, you wouldn't bat an eye at this sex pact. Oh, but since they're girls, you're all losing your minds. Why can't you grant the girls the same courtesy? What's the big deal about sex? Maybe it's, I don't know, the potential to create another human life? Considering that Lisa ended up a single mother, this would have been the perfect opportunity for her to loudly start opening up about her regrets, not wanting Julie to end up the same way. This could have laid more groundwork for Lisa's character growth. Nah, Lisa yells that she has no time for philosophy and runs out the door. I also could have done without seeing John Cena humiliate himself, or a scene full of vomit, or Gary Cole's penis. Hey, I'm no prude. The American Pie trilogy is charming to me, and I vividly remember how exciting it was to be at a friend's slumber party as a kid and learn that his dad let us rent a rated R sex comedy. If the goal of Blockers was to create a film that young girls would want to watch at a sleepover, I admire that. but I'm not convinced it'll be that appealing to them. Blockers is heavily focused on the parents' point of view, granting as little time as possible to the three daughters' school life and prom night. I like these young actresses, but they are given very little to do. American Pie, which is also about a high school sex pact, works because it concentrates on the teenage boys' perspectives, their anxieties, excitement, and insecurities when it comes to meeting and wooing girls. Jim's dad will walk in for some embarrassing humor and bumbling sage advice, but that's about it. He's only there when Jim needs him the most. The daughters in Blockers are sidelined to a degree that I don't really get to know them. Julie wants things to be perfect. Kayla is forcing it, and Sam isn't being true to herself. There is underexplored potential here. Instead, the parents are the main characters. I'm cool with that, but as a consequence, Blockers has 4 to 6 times the dull comedy formula. All 6 of these leads have to be established, developed, have a falling out low point, and then have drawn out scenes of dramatic closure. Again, Blockers is only 102 minutes long, which means that a substantial chunk of this comedy's runtime is dedicated to cliched, sincerely played, unearned drama. The movie can hardly build up enough buzz to kill. I am all for a comedy wearing its heart on its sleeve, teaching lessons, and picking moments to reflect. But Blockers could never recover the lost energy and momentum for me. The parents' adventure isn't even that involving, amounting to a series of poorly justified skits. Why does Mitchell need to butt-chug? These kids are drinking underage. If they won't let you into the house to search for your daughter, then threaten to call the police. Why are you wasting time trying to prove that you are not cops, when pretending that Mitchell is a cop would effectively cause the kids to disperse? A lot of these setups make no logical sense. Beyond the old Marty McFly, what are you, chicken? Excuse, now is not the time for Mitchell to be trying to prove he's hip. And to top it all off, the color correction coats the film in a murky yellow-brown sheen. Blockers has a few good chuckles, good moments of chemistry between the two trios, a sincere side, and an admirable goal for young sleepover girls, I guess. But the movie is lethargic, slowly paced, weirdly edited, oddly written, flatly shot, poorly balanced, pretty crass, yet undeservedly heartfelt, disrespectful towards its own premise and viewers, undermines its character growth, downplays the kids' experiences, and can't decide whether it wants to be a female American Pie, coming-of-age dramedy, gross-out comedy, or parent-targeted adventure. It decides to be all of them at once. And I thought it was mostly a boring mess. I give Blockers 1.5 out of 5 stars. If other reviewers you trust loved it, maybe give the movie a shot. I got a couple of laughs. I'm not angry. It just really didn't work for me. Lisa's missile. Her virginity on prom night is struggling with the idea. Also, I'd say pick one of them. I'd say pick one of them. How am I supposed to enjoy Leslie Mann sticking a beer hose up John Cena's ass if I'm not fully invested in Mitchell's... Oh my gosh, that sentence. One more take. Buress. Maybe it's Buress? Buress. Hunter shows up at Lisa's pre-prom party. Hey, imagine if Hugo Weaving Imagine. Hey, I am sweating profusely. We're gonna have to open a window after this. Woo! Making up a storm of a review in here. And thirdly, who was that boy? Oh, frick. Yeah, just kick the mic. Yeah. Just knock that off center for you. There you go. Start opening up about her regrets. Ooh, did I just burp? And I vividly remember. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a review. Oh, here we go. This is a long review for the movie. Yeah.